This is about you. You are the only one who does not know what happened last night. Archangel Michael says, the hour you named ordinary carried a hidden turning that belongs to your name. The air shifted while you slept and your path shifted with it. What seemed silent moved like a river underneath your floor, and everything you asked for began to gather its courage. A lamp flickered in the room you never use and marked the first sign. A decision you postponed chose you back without requesting permission. The future put its hand on the door and turned the handle softly. Someone you thought forgot you spoke your name in a living room across the city. They did not say it with bitterness because the bitterness already exhausted them. They said it with resolve because the night gave them no other choice. A message meant for you hovered at the edge of sending, then broke free. The sender pressed their thumb to glass and watched the blue bar climb. Your story gained a new sentence that will not erase itself. While you stood inside your sleep, your spirit stood in a room full of maps. The line that used to bend away from your blessing straightened like a held breath. A route that costs you less courage and brings you more peace became real. Someone reached for a door you kept closed and learned it requires your consent. Their plan ended where your boundaries began, the way a wave ends at stone. The night lifted a quiet shield in front of your house and told it to stand. An old mistake loosened its grip exactly at the minute you felt a tug in your dream. The knot slipped and the rope remembered how to be a simple rope again. You woke not knowing why your chest felt lighter and blamed the air for it. There is a chair with a folded paper under it, and last night the paper shifted. Your name on that paper gained a second underline that refuses to fade. A promise that drifted finally anchored itself to the page. Someone tried to speak against you and found their voice cutting itself short. The words they used already failed other people, so the night refused them. Fated tools do not work on doors designed for tomorrow. You have a key on your ring that fits a lock you do not recognize yet. The lock was placed on a gate during the hour the city turned quiet. When morning came, the gate looked ordinary, but it is not. The heaviness in your back moved forward and became fuel. The road asked for proof of your readiness and the night delivered it. It testified with the miles you have carried without applause. A name from your past reached out to an hour that belongs to your future. They stood at a threshold and decided not to cross because growth does not beg. Last night marked the end of chasing what does not chase you back. The house across from you kept one light on as a signal. That light announced the end of confusion around someone's intentions. They made their choice and the choice is not yours to carry. You asked for a sign without sound and received one without noise. The timing matched the moment the clock blinked and forgot the minutes. Forgetting minutes is how miracles enter unnoticed by doubt. There is a ledger that holds what is owed and what is promised. During the night the columns changed places and your deficit became harvest. Numbers walked to your side and volunteered to serve you. A window you never opened breathed for the first time in months. Freshness climbed into your room and found the place that aches. It rested there and began repairs without requesting your supervision. No one can tell you that last night was ordinary because it refused to be. It wore the kind of clothes that hide power in plain cloth. Power does not announce itself when certainty is already present. You are the only one who does not know what happened, because grace prefers privacy. It does the heavy lifting while your mind sleeps and your heart rests. It then waits for your first cup of water to whisper the summary. A path thought closed learned how to open again. Hinges that rusted under delay learned their lesson and moved honestly. The door makes no noise when the future is tiptoeing in kindness. Someone who kept your picture tucked away looked at it again. They remembered what faith feels like and decided to honor it this time. Your absence taught them what your presence used to ask for. An unfair story you accepted as currency lost its value at midnight. The market of your life refused counterfeit narratives. Authenticity became the only tender allowed, and it pays better. You will notice small rearrangements that appear accidental. A cup not where you left it, a thought that arrives already resolved. The night tidied things while you dreamed of storms that never arrived. A plan against you stumbled over your patience. Plots cannot navigate where steady kindness stands guard. The night reminded every shadow that your name is registered on higher ground. Your courage gained new muscle while you rested. Struggle acted like a trainer who secretly wants you strong. The soreness you feel is proof of capacity, not proof of weakness. Someone chose truth over image and your name was spared. They felt heat in their chest and decided not to burn you with it. Fire learns manners in rooms where wisdom breathes. The street outside offered the sound of tires as a rhythmic vow. Motion promised to serve your direction, not your distraction. Travel is coming, but it will not steal your peace to deliver progress. An email drafted against you never escaped the drafts folder. The send button grew heavier than the sender expected. The night prefers outcomes that educate, not punish. An opportunity with the wrong price removed itself from your table. It walked out quietly so your hunger would not mislead you. Empty space is not a threat when it is reserved for what fits. A family story tried to repeat but ran into your new choices. Cycles demand repetition, but you chose revision. Last night the wheel lost its grip and the road grew new lines. Your name was spoken in a room where your feet have never stepped. The tone was respect and the subject was possibility. It was enough to loosen a latch you thought belonged to someone else. A chair once offered to a rival turned toward you instead. The fabric remembered your weight even though you never sat there. Memory and destiny finally sent each other the same letter. The mirror in your hallway holds more than reflection today. It holds the rumor of a future where you look like relief. Light rehearsed on your face while you slept so it would land naturally. A voice you trust but often ignore said what it needed to say. It used memories as maps and the road agreed. The shrill noise of urgency left and the warm hum of clarity stayed. Your boundaries upgraded without a conference. Fences stood taller and gates learned new locks. The night hired better guards with the patience to identify your value. A deadline you feared shrank down to size. Time decided to respect the work you have already paid. The calendar released one square and placed it into your favor. You will feel a release in your chest like a quiet click. That click is permission granted for the opportunity that feared your doubt. Permission once granted does not revoke itself in this chapter. A friend who masked jealousy learned they cannot carry both friendship and envy. They set one down because carrying both broke their stride. The night picked up the friendship and carried it to your porch in a clean box. The scar on your hope softened. It will not disappear because it tells a true story. It will, however, stop narrating the ending without your consent. Your hands will feel ready before your mind reaches agreement. Readiness often arrives that way to invite the mind to trust the body. The night held your hands and reminded them of their work. Someone returned a key that never belonged to them. They left it on a table as if it were nothing, but it is everything. Access returned to the rightful heart always alters the map. A silent apology hovered near your window. It may never reach your ear, but it has already changed a heart. Change at the source always alters the river down the line. The relief you feel later today is not random. It is the invoice paid by last night's labor. Grace does its accounting when no one is looking. An invitation that once felt out of reach grew simple. The complexity was a costume worn by fear, not by truth. Truth wears plain clothes and fits every room. You will notice that distractions do not taste the same. They lost their sweetness while you slept. Sugar refuses to cling to a heart that has rediscovered purpose. A promise you made to yourself returned with interest. You offered it patience and it offered you momentum. Momentum prefers to arrive when self-respect stands at the door. The ache behind your eyes will fade as choice returns. Choice is a medicine that works faster than regret. Last night distilled it and poured it into the morning. Someone checked your name against a list, paused, and smiled. They remembered what you overcame and placed a star beside it. Recognition found a way to be kind without being loud. Your dreams met with memory and signed a treaty. They agreed to stop fighting over the same space. The treaty frees room for new beginnings to unpack without tension. An argument that could have erupted chose silence instead. Silence is not defeat when wisdom is busy setting the table. The feast cannot begin while the kitchen burns. You are not late because time stretched for you. The path ahead includes rest stops you once denied yourself. Rest is not the opposite of progress when progress is measured correctly. A letter with your name on it traveled a little closer. The mailman does not know its weight, but the night does. Deliveries that carry purpose do not get lost. You did not hear the glass break because it did not. Fragility tried to stage a scene and failed. Your resilience held the window together and strengthened the frame. The echo of old labels walked themselves out. They packed quietly and left without asking for farewell. Space returned to the room, as space always does after clutter learns manners. Someone who handled your giftedness without care decided to handle their own healing first. That decision set you free without a speech. Freedom rarely announces itself when it is honest. A simple yes will build you a staircase. A simple no will guard what that staircase leads to. The night taught both words how to stand without shaking. You are allowed to feel the relief even if you do not know the reason. Permission granted by heaven does not require a footnote. You step forward and the reason reveals itself mid-step. The memory of an old door knocking at your ribs has grown quiet. It will become a story you tell without flinching. Stories stop biting when they see you healing. An item you lost is on its way back without drama. Return likes to travel in plain packaging. You will find it where your patience leaves small lights. Someone tried to rehearse your downfall and lost the lines. The script fell apart because your character arc outgrew their theater. Rooms that cannot hold your growth release you without applause. A call meant for you found the right hour to arrive. The ring will sound familiar because your hope heard it first. Answer when it comes and stand as you answer. Your laughter will feel different in the next few days. It will carry a tenderness you earned. Hard roads teach soft joy how to survive. The home inside your chest finally moved the furniture. The couch no longer faces the past and the window no longer fears daylight. Comfort and courage swapped seats and both feel better. Someone misread you for years and finally corrected the text. Misreadings die when truth stands under a brighter lamp. The correction arrives without accusation, only clarity. You will not need to explain as much. Explanation is heavy when it runs on doubt. The night paid your tab at the counter of self-belief. Doors that require you to shrink will remain closed. Doors that ask you to stand tall will open as if by instinct. The building knows your height and built the hallway accordingly. The thing you thought would break you built you instead. Construction sites look like danger unless you know the plan. Your blueprint held through the storm and the scaffolding can come down. There is a softness coming that does not mean weakness. It means gentleness choosing you as a home. Power prefers that address in people who know the weight of pain. A friend you forgot you could lean on placed a chair on your porch. The chair is an invitation to breathe before you hurry. Hurrying breaks more than it builds when healing knocks. You are closer to the ground you asked for than your eyes believe. The distance left is honest and kind. You can live while you walk, not only after you arrive. A tender courage woke up in your spine. It will not shout, but it will hold you steady. Tenderness is not the opposite of strength, it is its secret. The world you feared would not recognize your worth is learning your language. It will take a few days for the accent to settle. Understanding you is becoming easier because you understand yourself. Your name tasted like duty for too long and is now tasting like joy. Joy seasons what it touches until the flavor matches the future. The night let it simmer and the fragrance is in the air. There will be a moment today when you pause without knowing why. That pause is the sound of gears aligning. Alignment speaks quietly because metal respects silence when it clicks. A door you waited at for months sighed open. It sighed because it was tired of resisting the right person. You are that person and the hinge knows it. The path that scared you now looks like a staircase with rails. You do not have to run or leap. You can hold the rail and step with dignity. The person you became during the hard months is not going away. That version of you built a home where peace feels safe. Keep that home and invite your new opportunities to visit. There is nothing ordinary about what happened last night. The sky carried the signatures of promises maturing. The ground prepared itself for lighter steps. Consider this your quiet briefing for a chapter that has already started. You did not miss the opening scene because you are the opening scene. Your presence is the event the night prepared for. Walk into the day with listening in your bones. Listening will show you the rooms that have been set in order. You will know them because ease stands there and does not apologize. Your old fear will try once more and then fade. It will fade because nothing is feeding it anymore. Hunger leaves when the pantry holds different food. Carry kindness like a compass and let it correct your direction. There is no rush in this guidance because timing respects you now. The clock and the compass finally agree. When you breathe, breathe like someone who is already found. Found people move differently through doors and through silence. Found people do not apologize for arriving. This is about you, and you are ready to know it. The night wrote the first page and handed you the pen. Write the next line the way healed people write, steady and true. A final word rests on your shoulder with the weight of a gentle hand. You are seen and you are safe to grow. The morning has joined forces with your name and refuses to let go. And when you step forward now, you step with the backing of what moved while you slept. The unseen loyal work did not ask for credit because your life carries the credit in motion. Go with it and let it show you how faithful the night can be. The chapter opens and the room greets you by name. The hush you feel is not emptiness, it is reverence. Your story walks in wearing light that fits. Hold your head at the angle of peace. Keep your hands where receiving is easy. Let your feet move like they remember the choreography. All of this began when the hour everyone ignored refused to ignore you. That hour is still here, hidden inside this line. It will follow you until the blessing becomes ordinary and the ordinary becomes blessed. You are the only one who did not know, until now. Now the knowledge sits with you like a trustworthy friend. It will keep you company while the day unfolds in your favor. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. The horizon carried your name like a sealed envelope. It moved across the dark and did not spill a single word. Secrecy protected you the way a hand shields a flame from wind. Someone standing on a balcony rehearsed the truth they owe you. Their mouth learned each syllable as if it were a vow. The vow did not tremble because resolve kept it warm. A rumor that traveled for months reached an intersection and stopped. It looked for fuel and found none because your growth starved it. Empty engines cannot continue when compassion refuses to fund them. Your strength spoke softly in a hallway you have not walked yet. The walls listened and straightened as if saluting a leader. Space always recognizes a person who respects purpose. The city carried a hush that was not ordinary. The hush had the weight of a curtain just before it lifts. Your cue arrived while you slept and still waited when you woke. In a nearby kitchen, someone wiped a countertop with careful circles. They thought about your kindness and decided to match it. Matching energy becomes a mirror that multiplies goodness. A delivery truck paused longer than usual on a quiet street. Inside the box with no marking sat an outcome you earned. The driver did not know its story, but destiny did. A list you feared left your name behind revealed a second page. The second page was the real one all along. The first trained your patience and the second rewards it. The night counted your tears as if each one were a receipt. The tally was not a burden but a budget for joy. Joy spends generously when it arrives in rooms where sorrow paid rent. A doorbell did not ring because the visitor knew the hour was not right. They turned away and chose morning, which honors your rest. Right timing is a form of tenderness that requires discipline. An old habit packed itself with quiet hands. It folded the corners and wrote a note of release. It left without a scene because healing prefers dignity. You will notice that certain names no longer live rent-free in your chest. Eviction happened around midnight without argument. Peace changed the locks and kept the keys. Someone walked past your streetlight and paused under its circle. They whispered an apology that will soon travel to your ear. Light carried it forward like a messenger with perfect aim. The ache you thought permanent began to lose its shadow. It shrinks when gratitude stretches inside ribcage walls. Your breathing will prove it in the small spaces between tasks. A neighbor who always watched from a window learned a lesson. Curiosity without compassion turns into dust that blinds the eyes. The night swept that dust and left clarity behind. Your silence finally met with someone else's conscience. Conscience blinked and admitted it had been looking away. Admission is the bridge between harm and repair. A letter inside a drawer released its grip on secrecy. Its corners softened because truth prefers rounded edges. You will read it when courage taps twice on your doorframe. The calendar tried to scare you with loud squares. It quieted its voice because devotion refused panic. Devotion holds steady until life admits you were never behind. An old song rose from a place you forgot to visit. The melody reminded your hands what building feels like. Hammers and hopes share the same rhythm when the foundation is ready. A meeting about you ended with a conclusion that serves you. Your absence turned into a presence because integrity spoke for you. People respect outcomes that feel inevitable in the best way. Someone you once loved measured their pride and found it heavy. They set it down and picked up responsibility. The exchange began the moment that opened last night. The mirror will greet you with softness the next time you pass. It learned compassion by watching your resilience up close. Reflection can be kind when healing edits its script. Your name traveled to a desk under a small lamp. A pen hovered, then signed the approval you needed. The ink dried while the clock touched a gentle hour. A child you care about slept without nightmares. Protection sat on the windowsill like a quiet guard. Guards do not brag when they understand their assignment. An unseen ledger returned the exact change to your spirit. It rounded up instead of down because grace exceeds calculations. Abundance remembers those who endured honest droughts. The garden you forgot to water found rain. Clouds chose the night to do what schedules forgot. Leaves lifted their faces and forgave the heat. A phone vibrated on a table with no owner in sight. The message it carried shifted the tone of a conversation about you. Tone is the color of decisions, and yours became generous. A lock you feared began to like the sound of your approach. It has waited long enough to trust your hands. Trust is a quiet door that opens outward when the right person arrives. Someone who wore authority like armor discovered it was heavy. They loosened it and found room for fairness. Fairness changed the angle of the room, and your name benefited. The path that bends through your next season gained lighting. The bulbs looked like stars put on a low shelf. You will pick them up with your steps and not drop a single one. An email with your opportunity avoided the spam folder this time. It walked straight to the front and rang the bell. Attention recognized it as a guest and not a distraction. The balance between patience and action shifted into alignment. You will feel the tilt flatten as decisions become lighter. Ease is not laziness when preparation has already paid its debts. Someone canceled a plan to test you and chose honesty instead. Honesty breathed and liked the air near your name. Air fills lungs best when deceit leaves the room. You will notice doors that once required pleading now open with presence. Presence has grown taller, and locks respect posture. Your posture learned certainty without arrogance. A road sign you once ignored finally caught your eye. The arrow points toward a place that feels like home. Familiarity will meet discovery there and shake hands graciously. The night hummed your name to the rhythm of undone prayers. Completion joined the chorus and learned the melody quick. Songs like that do not fade when morning arrives. You will feel less interest in arguments that go nowhere. Your energy will migrate to rooms that repay listening with clarity. Currency in this chapter is measured by peace, not noise. Someone in a far city printed your name on a list marked invitation. The envelope waits, and the stamp is already paid. Travel will not drain you because purpose will sponsor it. A hand you expected to pull away held steady. Steadiness has learned its own reward near your presence. Commitment feels lighter when fear stops lifting its edges. The corners of your life will round like safety on a new desk. Sharpness was a season, not a destiny. Smoothness helps momentum move without injury. The timeline you feared was brittle proved flexible. It stretched to welcome your learning curve. Curves like that are beautiful and functional at once. You will eat without rushing and notice how flavor returns. Taste is a teacher that arrives when stress leaves. Teachers like that do not raise their voices. A kindness you gave away without thinking found its way back threefold. It walked in on quiet feet and sat at your table. Multiplication loves gentle arithmetic around grateful people. Someone removed your name from a sentence that did not fit you. The sentence survived without the mistake and became accurate. Accuracy is kindness when reputations are involved. You will understand why you waited and not resent it. Waiting taught your muscles how to lift the future with grace. Grace likes hands that do not shake when signing for miracles. A clock on a different wall aligned with yours for the first time. Time zones of hope and time zones of action synchronized. You can move without feeling torn between them now. The familiar ache in your shoulder released a notch. Release travels the body the way dawn travels a street. It touches each window with patient light. Someone who collected your words for leverage dropped the bag. It ripped under the weight of misuse. Your sentences are free to return to where they belong. You will find a photograph and feel gratitude instead of grief. Memory learned a new language that does not bruise. Pictures like that grow soft edges over healed time. A stranger spoke well of you without expecting reward. That comment opened a gate that was pretending to be a wall. Walls with hinges always reveal themselves to the attentive. The next message you receive that matters will arrive clean. Clean means without manipulation or urgency that insults your wisdom. You will know it by how your breathing does not speed up. An appointment moved into a slot that honors your energy. Schedules become allies when self-respect leads. You will walk into rooms on time and leave without leftovers of regret. A difficult choice split into two smaller choices. Smaller choices are easier to love and easier to do. Love is the best fuel for action because it does not burn out. You will hear your name and not flinch. Flinching is for days when surprise felt dangerous. This season welcomes good surprise and trains the heart to recognize it. A pattern that used to trap your mornings lost power. The first hour will feel like wide water. Wide water lets boats choose pace without scraping the shore. Someone replaced competition with collaboration when they thought of you. Collaboration changed their math and doubled both sides. Equations become art when generosity solves them. You will step outside and meet air that agrees with your lungs. Agreements like that do not require signatures. Nature keeps its promises when worry releases control. The shadow that used to follow your hope learned to rest. Rest stopped calling itself weakness and began to call itself wisdom. Wisdom adopts quiet and grows it into strength. A seat at a table that never felt safe changed shape. The edges softened and the center expanded. You can sit there now without making yourself small. Your heart will feel instructions without harshness. Instruction that respects you always sounds like invitation. Invitations in this chapter arrive embossed with peace. Someone closed a folder labeled with your mistakes and filed it under growth. Growth never hides the past but refuses to weaponize it. Archives keep records, but your spirit keeps progress. A light flicked on in the alley of your confidence. The alley no longer hides things you fear. It became a walkway between who you were and who you can trust. You will hold a door for another and not lose your place. Generosity has a way of reserving seats without noise. The usher of destiny knows your face now. Words that used to snag on your tongue found flow. Flow respects preparation and you have prepared. You will speak and feel truth choose you as its instrument. A familiar voice will sound different because it finally tells the truth. Truth alters texture even when volume remains low. Texture tells you more than tone when trust matters. The horizon will draw a thin line of gold at the hour you need courage. Gold lines are promises from days you have not met. You will walk toward them and forget to be afraid. A calling that stood 3 steps away will stand beside you. Standing beside is a sign of readiness that cannot be faked. Partnerships form where fear stops needing to lead. You will part your hair and notice your face looks rested. Rest is what happens when permission meets purpose. The mirror will nod as if it has been waiting to approve. Someone whose laughter once felt sharp will sound softer. They began their own healing and it changed their music. New music teaches dancers new steps and none of them hurt. A street sign will remind you of a promise you thought you missed. You will smile because the promise has been walking toward you all along. Meeting in the middle counts as perfect timing when hearts agree. You will remember a younger you and bless them for surviving. Survival was never the destination, but it was a strong bridge. Bridges like that deserve flowers even after the crossing. The idea that scared you most will become a friend. It will knock, walk in, and sit without demanding. You will notice how safety grows around it like ivy. A number you needed will appear when you look without strain. Strain hides digits that calm eyes can find. Calm is a key that does not rattle on the way to the lock. A breath will arrive with the taste of relief. Relief tastes like metal at first and honey later. Keep breathing until the honey arrives and stay present when it does. You will touch a doorknob and feel it welcome you. Metal can learn manners when destiny oils the hinge. Manners like that remind you that you belong. Someone's opinion about you will retire from importance. It will pack a small box and leave. Departure like that frees room for your own voice to stretch. The gratitude you practice will multiply moments all by itself. Multiplication works faster when attention holds it gently. You are becoming fluent in this arithmetic. A sunrise will land like a patient hand on a restless shoulder. Restlessness will remember it has a home. Homes like that are built from decisions that respect your nervous system. You will move toward the afternoon with a steady hum. The hum is the engine of alignment doing its work. Engines like that require presence, not force. Someone will send a small message with big sincerity. Sincerity is always larger than it looks on the screen. You will feel its size in how your day steadies. The next time you set a boundary, it will stand without wobbling. Wobble belonged to days when guilt had too much influence. Influence has been reassigned to wisdom for the foreseeable future. You are stepping into rooms that remember your name before you speak it. Recognition is not flattery when it is earned. You have earned it with quiet tenacity and honest hope. The chapter that began last night is still writing itself. Pages are turning with the rhythm of a heart that trusts. Trust does not shout when it is busy building. You will feel the night's handiwork revealing itself in small mercies. Small mercies are anchors that hold the ship when the harbor breathes. The harbor is breathing for you now. Walk forward as if the ground studied your stride. It did, and it carved the path to fit. Fit is the new measurement for every decision you make. This is still about you, and the story refuses to forget its subject. The room is brighter without calling attention to itself. Brightness behaves with grace when it belongs to your season. When the day ends, you will sleep without bargaining. Sleep will return as a loyal friend who keeps secrets. Secrets like last night's are the kind that heal rather than harm. Tomorrow will inherit the order that tonight delivered. Inheritance like that grows interest while you rest. You will wake to deposits that match your endurance. Keep moving with the steady courage that does not perform. Performance is loud when fear narrates, but fear has retired. Retirement papers were signed in the quiet hour that changed everything. The city will whisper your name again and mean it as a blessing. Blessings that land this way do not need announcements. They settle, they root, and they rise into fruit. And still the truth stands simple and strong. You were the only one who did not know, and now you are learning in gentle waves. The waves will keep coming until your whole shore understands. The sky saved a thin band of silver for your hour. It draped that band over your next decision. Decisions were better when they are tailored by quiet certainty. Someone placed a folder with your name on an upper shelf. It came back down with a sticky note that says approved. Approval likes altitude before it settles into your hands. You will open a drawer and find courage folded beside patience. They were ironed last night by unseen help. Crisp edges help both of them hold their shape. A call you dreaded transformed into a calm exchange. The voice on the other end remembered your humanity. Humanity moves negotiations faster than pressure ever could. The road near your work learned your stride. Traffic will open at the exact stretch where you usually hesitate. Openings arrive naturally when hesitation retires. A cup you keep for special days is ready for ordinary mornings. Ordinary mornings are the new special days. Special is a temperature, not a calendar square. Someone stopped using your name to decorate their stories. They returned it to you without ceremony. The lack of ceremony is another form of respect. Your future took inventory and discovered no debt you cannot pay. It adjusted the total to mercy plus responsibility. Totals like that attract solutions on their own. You will hear a door close and not mistake it for loss. The room behind it was smaller than your next season. Seasons prefer rooms that match their weather. A small kindness you offered years ago bloomed overnight. It sends fragrance into a hallway you are about to enter. Fragrance announces favor without saying a word. The person who misunderstood you learned a new alphabet. They will spell you correctly the next time they speak. Correct spelling honors the soul it names. You will stop negotiating with your old fear. Negotiations end when truth brings better terms. Better terms include dignity, rest, and clean timing. The chair at your desk remembered your posture. When you sit, it will remind your back of strength. Strength enjoys familiarity when it is pain-free. An unexpected gift is moving toward you with the right pace. It does not want to arrive early and cause confusion. It does not want to arrive late and cause doubt. Someone who believed in scarcity tried abundance for one evening. In that evening they found you in their gratitude. Gratitude puts your name on lists you never knew existed. Your steps will match the rhythm of a song you do not yet know. The rhythm will feel like a promise you can dance to. Dance happens wherever the body recognizes permission. An invitation to speak will land softly. You will answer with clarity and leave with peace. Peace is the signature on every assignment that belongs to you. A lamp in your hallway will feel brighter at dusk. That brightness is not electricity alone. It is the room acknowledging how far you have come. You will throw away a broken thought like a cracked plate. Plates like that cannot carry nourishment. Nourishment deserves unbroken surfaces, and so do you. The friend who mirrors your best self will text at the right minute. Their words will sound like a door opening. Doors open for those who keep their hinges clean. You will look at a calendar and feel invited instead of cornered. Invitations honor your boundaries while they stretch your reach. Cornering belongs to seasons that ended last night. A small expense you feared will resolve without sting. Money obeys wisdom when wisdom is patient. Patience is the steady grip on the wheel of provision. Someone will introduce your name in a room of decision makers. The introduction will land without resistance. Resistance yields to consistency when the record is clean. You will stand near a window and feel your shoulders drop. That drop is permission to stop carrying what is not yours. The view is wider when borrowed weight leaves. A task that used to drain you will become efficient. Efficiency grows where resentment shrinks. Resentment has been shrinking since the night shifted your air. Your reflection will show a softness around the eyes. Softness after struggle is a medal you wear inwardly. Medals like that do not need applause. You will notice the small beauty of a street you ignored. Beauty feeds focus without stealing energy. Focus built on wonder never burns out. A child's laughter will cross your path and fix your breathing. Breath follows joy the way rivers follow gravity. Joy pulled you closer while you slept. Someone made room for your idea without rivalry. They pushed their own chair back and nodded. Nods like that are stamps from the invisible council of right timing.